Hey John, welcome to Horsehead Bookends for another Gaming Friday, but probably on a Saturday because I'm not going to have time to edit this video and get it up. So tonight we are doing part 4 of our We're Dumb for Not Playing These Games. And what we spun on the wheel was Brass Birmingham by Roxy Games.
This is one I haven't played before, but I've seen it done. I haven't even played the original Brass either, so it looks like a nice deluxified copy with all these cool little bits. I quite enjoy these style of games, so I'm looking forward to learning how this plays. This is similar to Nucleum that we played?
No. Nucleum is similar to this. Let's get that straight right away. Basically, this takes place during the Industrial Age in England, 1770s, where people were building networks and coal mining and trains, and I'm not a huge economic game fan, but this is absolutely one of my favorites. It's a very easy game to play. There's 5 actions. You get 2 actions per turn. You run through the deck 2 times. Game's over. Whoever has the most points wins. There are little nuances over it, which you'll notice while we do the playthrough. But Ian's here. We are going to play a 3-player game of Brass, and we will all be back to talk about it as soon as we're done. So let me move the camera, and we'll take a look at the board and start playing. All right, so we are set up for Brass. We have a 3-player game going on right now. I am purple, Ian is white, and Mike is red. We are dealing out the cards right now. We gave Mike a quick run through, so we can easily beat him at this game.
Oh, they ran me through all right. I'm going to get run through. You got that right.
So we're going to get started.
And interestingly, I've been to every city on the board. And I might throw in some random city tidbits as we play through.
Ooh, I like
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Little known fact, there's actually a cartoon of Ian right in the little field out here playing as a kid. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, true fact, Warrington is the one of the towns on here. It is not the northernmost town because geographically Leek is a little bit further north, but on the board they look like they're equidistant, like in terms of north. But my dad used to work in Warrington and I grew up about 12 miles away.
That's awesome.
So the first era, you can only ever have one building in any location.
So I can't build both of these?
No.
Okay.
No.
But once we get to the railway phase,
Then you can.
you can build as many as what you can fill them. I also like this game because I can just look at my cards and I don't have to worry about trying to figure out where on the map they are. Because I know the geography
That's cheating.
pretty well. So hopefully less AP from Ian tonight.
When you spend your money goes on your player.
Oh, you take 2 actions at a time.
Yes. Now it's
Oh, I thought
it's
it was.
Ian's turn.
I thought it was you take an action, he take an action,
No,
I take
you
an
take
action.
you take 2 actions. Alright, so that was Brass by Martin Wallace, put out by Roxy Games. This is, I think this is the deluxe edition. It comes with the nice iron clay chips and some thicker cardboard pieces. So it's still one of my favorite games. Mike didn't enjoy it very much.
I liked it about as much as I like Nucleum.
This is so much better than Nucleum.
I did enjoy it better.
It's fun. I think once you get the hang of it, if we set up and played it again, I think you'd be like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing.
No, I'd ask if we could set something else up, actually.
One of the hardest things about Brass is that if you're not paying attention to what other people are doing and you're just too much focused on what you want to do, you might lose the opportunity to do what you need to do to win the game. I was so focused on trying to get out my last pottery piece, I completely forgot that I was playing with 2 other people. So I wasn't even thinking about what either of you were going to do. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and this is what's going to happen. and then I just shot myself in the foot.
I like Brass. I've played this quite a bit, which for me is unusual to play the same game repeatedly. But I like it for a load of different reasons. Firstly, it's set in England, which is really good. And it's set kind of in the Midlands and the northern part of England, which is even better, because that's where I'm from. So
Really?
I like that. Because there aren't many...
British?
Yeah, I know. Wow. Yeah.
I would have never known.
1/16 British.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like it that. But I think at a design level, I think this is probably one of Martin's better design games. I like the fact that the economy is really tight at the start to generate money when you need money, but then the economy loosens up as the game goes on, but money becomes less important. But what does become important later on, which is really loose at the start, is placement. Placement's really loose right at the start when the economy is tight, so you don't have the money to place and spend and build. As the game goes on, you've got more money flowing, but the spaces are tighter. And I think that's a really nice design mechanic, that kind of push-pull at different parts. I do like the idea that the game changes at kind of the midway point. I know that wasn't Mike's favourite element in tonight's play.
It just for me, because of the fact that we didn't hit, the deck ran out, and then by the time we actually changed to the coal age, it was like an hour and a half, and I was like, what did I do for the last hour and a half? I got 2 buildings out, and now everything else I did and all that money was just, it felt wasted. It felt like I just played an hour and a half in order to discard 3 things and put 3 things out.
And I think you can,
I just felt like
you had a great start. In the second era. You had such a huge advantage over me and Ian because of what you built.
But that was because all of that, it was accidental because, and the whole first half of the game, I felt like I am doing this for such a little point, and that. If that was shortened, if the deck was maybe half that size, and you start with a random spot on the board or something, I don't know. But it was far too long for me to play. It was like, play the whole game until the deck is empty.
So maybe
now play again, but discard half of the table.
So for me, that duality in the game, I like that for this reason. I think it forces you to think longer term. So to me, you can play in the decision in the first game, and you're thinking, okay, am I just going to play to maximise my victory points because I know there's going to be a midterm score, or you can play where I'm going to make sure that I have better placement for the rail age, because I know in the rail age placement to coal is going to be more important. Because coal's not as important in the first age.
No.
So I'm going to play out, and then I'm going to take a hit at midpoint, and I know I might not look good on the victory point track, but I know I'm going to be better placed to build in the second age.
Yeah.
And probably going into the second age, I'll have a little bit more money because the economy's opened up a bit.
The economy's good, yeah.
I like that as a design mechanic, that it forces that decision. But I can see how because I remember the first time I played Brass, and I was leaning with Mike. My first play of Brass a couple of years ago when it came out, I didn't enjoy it. And I like heavier, thinky games, and Brass is definitely one of those. So I think Brass probably is maybe not a forgiving game for a first or a second time player. I think Brass is definitely one because of that weird mechanic where the board state does shift and change. And also, for those people who've not played Brass, if you haven't got certain of your buildings or certain of your goods tokens out, namely the level 1s, you cannot build level 1s in the second age, in the rail age, apart from pottery.
Yeah.
So you are in a way penalised. So I think for a first time player, I think Brass is quite unforgiving.
I think I agree with you. I think Brass is one of those games that upon first play you might not enjoy. And I think the first time I played Brass, I wasn't that fond of it, but then I kind of thought about how the mechanics work, and I go, oh, I get it. I understand what I have to do. Oh, and I understand this now. And it's kind of like that's what Beyond the Sun is, another game of mine. The first time I played it, I absolutely hated it. But after when I was done, I kept thinking, I go, oh, hold on a second. Oh, this works this way and this works that way, and I'd like to try it again. And at my second and third and subsequent plays, I absolutely love Beyond the Sun. It's one of my favorite games now. And I think with Brass, you're right. It is very unforgiving for first-time players. But I hope let's see in a few months, if you think about the mechanics and go, you know what, I might want to revisit Brass.
If we do Brass again, we will have to wear flat caps and tweed.
My problem is there's too much on this board for me. My ADD mind cannot focus on the amount of options, and I can do all these different things. Oh no, I can't do that because there's none of that thing on the board, or I'm not connected to it. Oh, but there's a lot of options. Yeah, but there's really only one right now because I don't have this, I'm not connected to this. So out of all these things, I could really only do 1 or 2 of the 5 actions that I have available. And everything that I'm doing is going to get destroyed in an hour and rebuilt. And that just made me feel like I wasted.
What I thought
like
was...
that to me, I just like maybe it's my brain, but I'd rather play something else because I just felt like it was spending time to do things for no reason. I don't like having to plan based on hoping and wondering what other people are going to do, what's going to
But
be on the
aren't
board.
most games like that, though? If you have a plan to do something in a game, and if somebody either takes the spot you wanted, or takes the resources you wanted, that's most games.
Yes and no. Yes and no. This is a game where I do something that builds a resource that someone else could then spend on their very next turn before I have a chance to spend it. Whereas I just wasted all that money to be able, because I needed that.
Yeah.
And I wanted that so that I could do this. I understand the link. I understand that the steel and the coal and we're all building things that help each other out. I just, the split age just...
I do think it's a love or hate.
Like, I do not understand why you needed the coal age, the boat age, and the canal age, and then the steam age. If you want to do an Industrial Revolution game, do an Industrial Revolution game that's during the coal age. I don't understand the split. It's like I get you want to tell the story of how, like, showcasing that it started on this and then transitioned, but then make the starting phase shorter. This is 2 games.
I do think it is. And I think this is... So I've played with different gaming groups around the States, Brass, and I do think it's a love or hate.
It is. There's a lot of games like that.
I'm not saying
it's not like a game where, you know, sometimes you pull out a game and it's like, yeah, I don't mind playing it. I don't love it, I don't hate it, but I'll play it. But from the groups I played with in Brass, it's either people love it and I'm a lover, you're a lover.
I love it.
Or people don't like it and they're a hater.
Well, there's a lot of
not like it.
Yeah, I think a lot of
I'm not a hater, but I'm a not liker. I mean, I wouldn't jump to put this on my shelves. It wouldn't be my first thing to play. There's plenty of other economic games that I'd rather play.
If I spend a lot of money, so I put a lot of stuff out on the board to set myself up for a couple of turns down the line, I know I'm going to get knocked back in play order. Or I can choose not to spend a lot, be first player, and then take somebody else's resource. So I like that decision point about how I progress then impacts when I'm allowed to progress.
Yeah.
And that to me is really cool, because there are a couple of times I decided not to build because I'm like, I want to go first player because there's one beer right there and I'm taking that beer.
Yeah.
So I didn't do anything. I just like built 2 rails to broaden my network because I'm watching you guys spending. But then other times I thought, if I don't spend money, you're going to take my slots. So I'm going to have to take a hit for 2 rounds and be well down the player order because I want to make sure I have those slots.
Yeah,
I hope.
I don't like it.
But I think,
because of that.
But what I do find with Martin Wallace games is a lot of Wallace games, people either love or hate.
It's
you
just
go
because
through historically you look at his games.
It's because it's too tight. It's too tight, and there's too much. It almost feels too much. Take that to me because of the fact
it does have a bit of that, and I'm not a fan, but I think with Brass, if you do make a bad decision or someone takes your things that you need, you have to be able to pivot, and you have to be able to come up with another plan rather quickly.
But this really, puts a ball and chain and handcuffs and blindfolds you in hopes that you could still hobble into a position to maybe get something done.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know what? I love it. It's still going to be one of my top games of all time. Hopefully Mike will come around. Maybe not. We'll
Send
see.
me all the hate below.
If not, you'll see lots of 2-player videos of Brass.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a great game.
So, all right. So let's see what's next up on the list.
Oh yeah.
What do we got? We're spinning around.
We're spinning round and round and round and round of purple or red, Ian.
I'm not looking at it. I think it's going to land on red.
Oh no, it's going on purple.
Oh,
Catacombs or Dark Tower? Catacombs.
Ooh,
Catacombs.
I enjoy
Alright, there we go.
Catacombs.
Let's go.
It is
Let's
a
go.
very fun dexterity flicking game. So that will be next up on the list. So, Brass Birmingham, I love it. I can't wait to play it again.
I'll join you guys for Catacombs.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's alright.
So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please don't forget to click on subscribe with the notification bell. You get notified anytime we upload a new video. Questions or comments, feel free to post them below. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, talk to you later.
He's British.
Bye.